Hey guys, good morning. Give it just a couple minutes and let people get into the webinar and get us started and settled before we get started. Hey Brian.
Hi, team. Are we live?
We are. We're going to give it just a couple seconds and let some people come in, and then we'll get started.
Great.
But the topic that we're talking about today is AI, which is a trending topic everywhere. You hear about AI anywhere you go. So I am going to launch a question as people are coming in to the webinar this morning and just asking, do you use AI today in any capacity? I know I talk to people a lot that do. Some people are terrified of it and don't use it at all. So just want to get a feel of, are you guys using AI in any aspect today while we go through some of this?
It's always interesting to hear results on this one.
And we've got some people right now that are saying no. So good to know. It's good to know. Hopefully by the end of this, we can help you guys feel a little more comfortable dipping your toes in a little bit and getting a taste of what AI can do for you. Not at all, Francisco says. Not at all. Okay, good to know. Perfect. All right. And while we're letting some more people come in also, we do have the chat. We do also have a Q&A box. So for anybody that has questions while we're going through the presentation today, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A and we'll make sure that we get to all of your questions. If not through the presentation, definitely at the end of the presentation, we'll make sure we answer all of your questions. Awesome. I love seeing this. Hi, Joe and Karen. Excited to see you guys. All right, let's give it one more second and then we'll get started, Brian. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds great.
Perfect. All right, so far we've got 75% of people that said yes, they are using AI in some aspect today, and 25% of people are saying no, they are not using it. So interesting. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this poll. All right, well, let's get going, will we? So we're talking about AI today and the growth trifecta and how you can use AI for your social media, your generating business reviews, and your business listings. And business listings means everywhere. There are definitely some listings in places that you might not even consider that we're going to be able to show you today. So Brian, I'm just going to kick it over to you and we'll just dive in and get started.
Yeah, thanks, Lori. Great poll to kick us off today. And we're going to talk a little bit about this. And my guess is that when we run this poll again in the next 3 months, I would think there's probably going to be some zeros in that no. But we'll see how that shakes out. So I want to encourage everybody not to be scared by AI. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it. You just start dipping your toe in the water a little bit, and you'll start to see. So anyway, what we're going to cover today, we're going to talk a little bit about the team that's supporting all the efforts here with Aura and Rosie in marketing. We're going to talk a little bit about industry trends. AI happens to be the headline there, and we'll talk about this and how it's impacting your day-to-day and how it's impacting your revenues. For your business, we'll talk about some of the offerings when it comes to reviews and social and organic and listings and things like that. And then we'll close. And as Lori said, we have some Q&A in the chat. So if you have questions, please drop them in there. We'll save a little bit of time, and Lori will moderate the questions for us. So just in terms of today, so just want to point this out real quick. We've been working really hard as a team over the past, 18, 20 months now to really kind of develop a pod or a group of people designed to come in here and help our clients at Aura and Rosie, be great marketers and use us for great strategy. We know the world is changing. We know this is really, really important now because some of the shifts that have happened, including with what we're going to talk about today with AI. So having a good marketing partner is really critical. And at Orr & Rosie, we recognized that a while back, and we've been working hard to build a team to do that. So we've got several people today. I'm going to be joined by Jessie Witchen. She's going to talk to us about organic social. I'm also here with Chanda, who's going to talk a little bit about the SEO and the listing side of things. So anyway, let me jump in here so I can get things moving. My thing's a little stuck here. You know what, Lori, I'm going to ask you to pull a question. Let me make sure I get the deck right here.
Okay.
Do you have a question you can drop in for us?
And I can come up with a question right now.
Okay, thank you, Jessie. Please bear with us. Got a lot of presentation decks I'm trying to work through here.
All right.
What
So
question?
chat, how would you like to use AI in your business? So if there was one piece that AI could come in and maybe not take over for you entirely, but that could help you in any aspect of your business, where would you like to see it? Whether it be customer experience, your team, operational, marketing, whatever it is. Tell us how you would like it to help simplify your business for you today.
It's a great question. Thank you for adjusting that for me. Make sure I get the right team on for today while you're asking that question. I'll let that poll line up.
And also, while we're letting people fill this out too, I am excited for Chanda to be here because with having her experience as an expert in SEO and helping us to understand that, it's an area that most of us in the salon are not experts in, and in places where we grab information from and all over the place. And so to have you, Chanda, be a dedicated SEO expert and helping us to navigate salon specific business keywords and how to optimize our businesses and all of the things within Google, Meta, all those different places, is really good, because otherwise we just kind of piece things together. We sort of make things happen how we want to. So knowing your background and experience is impactful for all of us.
Yeah, that's a great point. We're excited to have Chanda with us today. So while we're finishing up that poll, we have multiple teams that do different things behind the scenes here at Orr & Rosie, and so I just want to make sure I have the right team on our screen today. So just as we said, we're going to hear from Chanda, and she's going to have some really interesting insights on the listings piece, which is really critical for us today. Jessie, of course, we'll talk a little bit about organic social. And then we have Afton. You'll be talking to Afton if you decide you want to just have an analysis of your website or have an analysis of your digital footprint. Afton's the one you'll be communicating with on the front. So she handles all of our client-facing analysis and consultations on the marketing side. And I believe, Lori, her link will be in the chat as well. So you can grab some time on the calendar with Afton. So that's the team today. So let me kick off. Lori, can I get going? I know that poll's probably still running.
Yep, go ahead. I just ended the poll, so we're good.
Okay, great. So we did the initial poll was about AI and the impact on how you're using it for your business. But even irrespective of using it or not, I'm sure at some point on some publication you read, whether it's some big publications like these, Reddit, whatever, you're hearing a lot about AI and how it's impacting search. And in our business in the salon world, where our objective is to get more people in our seats, of course, and people, what they do is they look for us online. Even if they drive past your salon and are like, wow, that's a really beautiful facade. It looks like a great salon. 87, 88% of all people are going to look online too before they step in the door. So anything you're doing in terms of driving growth for your salon and getting more people in the chairs, you have to be thinking about your digital footprint. And with Google shifting and AI coming into play, we're going to look at some examples of that. How is your business getting set up for success into 25, into 2026 and beyond? And so I liken this time in our history is to a couple different times in the past. One is when the internet came to be, and became something that we started using on a day-to-day basis. I think it was like the late 1990s or whatever it was. That time was a big shift in the culture of you know the globe. And then the second big shift, if you think about just kind of inflection points in our history, is when the iPhone came out and people started, having access to a phone to do a lot of the things they do. This is kind of that same level of inflection point now that AI is coming into how people search for things, how people find businesses, how people make decisions. And so we as salon owners and operators have to be thinking about, okay, again, how do we set ourselves up for success in this new world? And that's, again, going back to what we've done at Ori and Rosie, just building the teams to be able to provide great marketing and great insight. We know you're great operators, can run great salons, but with the just the advance in all the intricacies and complexities in search and digital, we wanted to be a great partner, and so we put together a team of people to do that. So I'll kind of just spell this out, just if you think about trends and considerations. So historically, people, we let's just say visitors, people that are on the web or on the internet, they're searching for things like, I need a salon, I need a balayage, I need a whatever it is, I need a haircut, I need a color. So they search for something in a query, right? I need this, or salon near me, something like that. So what happens then is they visit your website, they click around, maybe get on your calendar, convert, and then you can see in the data, hey, look, this Jojo here, he came in through Google, he found my website, and he became, he's booked for a haircut Tuesday at 3, whatever. So you can see how a visitor moves from a search, in a query type search, to the website, to conversion. So that's one funnel that, of course, that still exists. But now what you have is a whole new funnel. And again, we'll look at this here in a minute, of what we call agents. I know it sounds kind of sci-fi, but it's really robots out there saying, someone goes into ChatGPT, for example, and says, hey, I'm really thinking about a great salon, and I just moved in this community, and I need a salon that does great color. So they're going to put that search in ChatGPT and Perplexity. Even Google now has, and we'll talk about this, has the AI overviews. And the AI agents go out and evaluate your website, see if the information is there that it needs to present back to that consumer. It makes a decision whether I should provide salon XYZ back as a result. And then it provides that information, once it makes all those decisions in real time, to the consumer who's searching in an AI capacity. So if you're not thinking about optimizing your website past the visitor to the agent, that's something you need to be doing. And the things we talk about today, whether reviews and listings and organic social, all these things play a part in this, and help that agent make a good decision. So going back to the original poll, if you look on the graphic on the right side of the screen here, 71.5% of people are using AI. So it's definitely majority now. That will continue to climb, and these tools are being used in search. So we have to, as businesses, be aware of this and be preparing ourselves for this new type of search. The other thing to consider is even Google now, and again, you saw some of the headlines that I had in some of those big publications, has an AI kind of summary that when people search. And you can see in this example here on the screen, someone said, can you tell me the best salon near me? And so this is that those agents went out and made that decision we just talked about. It evaluated it, it summarized and decided to present a couple salons in this case, back to the consumer who's looking. So Google's using this AI overview as well. So again, this is not a human visitor. This is an agent going out making a decision to provide that back to you. So things to think about, just some low-hanging fruit for you to consider, before we get into some of the bigger content today with Chanda and Jesse, is number one, are you creating a well-structured, or a well-structured content for your website? That's one thing that creates authority and gives an agent the ability to say, hey, this is a good thing. So if you haven't updated your website in the past year and a half, this is something you're going to likely want to do soon, because you're going to want to make sure you're structured right. to be able to speak to the agents. In fact, there's even files now. I won't get technical, but there's even files you can put into on your website to guide the agents through your website. So things like that are in play as well. Reviews and reputation. We're obviously that's a huge piece in evaluation from an agent. So how are you doing? Are you driving more and more reviews? Are you getting a strong online reputation? And that's generally something that the AI will use to decide whether they're going to serve your information in kind of an AI overview there. So you can see back to just kind of the more generic Google results, and something to consider here is people start searching salon near me. This is kind of that visitor approach, and I want you to notice these three examples in Colorado Springs all have a ton of reviews, right? So all over 100 reviews, pretty good reviews, all over 4.7 stars. And so we know Google, just historically as part of its algorithm, is using reviews to make decisions on showing salons, but also AI is as well, right? So, but AI is using other components. It's using reviews for sure. We know that in all our tests, and Chanda can talk a little bit more about this, but we know that, and it's also using some of those other things in terms of website structure, how you're doing with organic social, all the things that we'll talk about today. So I share this with you because search is changing. You've got not just a visitor to consider, you now have the agents to consider as you make your decisions, or as you make decisions on investments you're making to make sure you're staying relevant with all these changes in the future. So I'm going to bring in Chanda, if I can bring you in now. We're going to talk about reviews because we all know that we just talked about it in the algorithm of Google, but we all know that it's part of the AI. If you don't mind, this slide talks a little bit about how Google sees the world through its algorithm, and Google business profiles and review signals, all these tie in with reputation. If you could just talk a little bit about reviews and what you've seen and how it impacts things in the world of being found when people need a salon service.
Definitely. So if you don't already have a Google business profile, this is one of the most largest things you can do for your company. It is going to move you faster and further than anything else you can do. And that being said, your website also, it consolidates the information between your website and your GBP listing. So you want to make sure that those two match. Whatever you put on that GBP, it needs to match what's on your website, and your website is your opportunity for you to enhance it further and tell more about those offerings that you give. But on your GBP, you want to make sure that you have accurate information. You want to make sure that you are giving your customers the biggest opportunity to give you a review. When you get a review from a customer, that sets you up a little bit higher than your competition. The more reviews you have and the more positive they are, the better that looks for you. Now, that being said, don't freak out if you get a bad review. There are things you can do for bad reviews. The first thing is respond to them. Make sure that you do respond to it and you do it in a professional way. Don't ever come at anyone that gives you bad reviews. And I'm saying this because salons, I've seen it. I've seen it personally. People go out and review you guys very quickly, a lot more quickly than they do in other businesses, I believe. But they will go out there and review you. They will give you a good review, a medium review, a low review. Remain positive with all of them. Going back to AI, you can use AI to help you respond to those reviews. You can put the review in AI and say, hey, can you help me with this? Chat GPT, Gemini, they're both great. I like Gemini for things like that because Gemini is a Google product. You can put that review in there and say, hey, this is a review I got from a customer. Can you help me spin this in a positive light? And can you help me do a professional yet human-like review? It will help you respond to that review. The more reviews you can get from customers, though, the better. Something that I would urge all of you to do, if you don't already, is set up a QR code that goes straight to your Google Maps listing. Have that on your counter when they check out. When they check out and say, hey, did you enjoy our services today? Why don't you scan this and give us a review if you don't mind? Get them to do that. If you don't know how to get that link, you're going to go to your Google business listing, go to the maps part of it, click where you see the map, and then there's going to be a share link right there. And you want to do that map share. It'll give them the Google review. Or if you can go to the back end of your GBP, if you know how to operate that, there is a direct review link share as well. Give them that. That's what you want to link them to. Either the maps, which is right by the reviews, so they'll see how to do it, or the review link itself. That's where you want to direct those customers to.
Hey, Chanda, can
Reviews
I
are
just jump in?
huge.
Can I just jump in on
Yes.
this? Because I just wanted to share something that I saw just a couple of weeks ago with one of our clients. To exactly what you're saying, they did a QR code, but they had it on like the mirrors of the various stylists, and it said like
That's
mention
amazing.
your stylist name, because we're running a contest this month. And so people were like, "Oh, Tammy does a great job for me. I'm actually going to take the time to do this because I want her to win this contest in the salon." So actually putting people and they had to mention, I think it said like you have to mention your stylist name in the review. So that's how they like awarded whatever the prize was, whoever got the most mentions. They had it on the mirror with the QR code, mentioned the name of the stylist, and the stylist gets an award. And it created a massive influx of reviews because people wanted to celebrate their stylist.
That's amazing. And that is a great way to get reviews, a great way. And like I say, the more you can get, the better. Um, the more reviews you have, the more real you look, and the more you look real to not only Google, but to AI bots, to other customers. Because what is the first thing you do when you're going to go get a service? You want to look at the reviews and you want to see how have other people seen this, and you want to look at most recent. So they're going to do that and look and see what the biggest response is. So if you can keep those kind of things like Brian is saying, going those contests going, that is the best way to do it. That is the best way to do it.
Yeah. And just kind of just fleshing the slide out for the last piece here. With Google Business Profile, if you look underneath kind of the subtitles there or the main title, reviews are part of that, right? So you've got 32% of an impact of Google showing you in a result when somebody searches for salon near me, or somebody's even using the AI component within Google. You have another 16% tied to reviews on quantity of them, the velocity, the responsiveness. That is almost 50% of your likelihood being shown in a Google search or an AI driven search is tied to reviews. So if you're going to spend time in an area, this is definitely an area to do that. Now, I'm going to pivot over here to the flywheel, because if we start in the orange, Chanda, generate more reviews for each location, what that does is it creates an engine for you, right? And so can you talk a little bit about this flywheel?
Yeah, definitely. So you definitely want to generate the more reviews. We've already started that part, and Brian mentioned one of them. The other thing you can do, and I know some salons already do it, they have like a texting app set up, and it will text you as soon as you leave there and say, "Hey, how was your experience with us today?" Do that and provide the review link there also. That will also give you away, but you want more reviews, so you want to keep getting those. Once you get the reviews, you've got to look at them. You've got to listen to them, see what your customers are saying, grow from it. Use that as an experience. Don't ever let a review go that you don't respond to. I told you to respond to negative, respond to all of them and do them in a timely manner. That does matter because that shows that you care about your business. It makes not only your customers trust you, but also search engines trust you. So make sure that you respond to all of those reviews. I would say do them in 24 to 48 hours. That's kind of the good standard practice there. Um, Basically, the better experience people get, that creates more of the 5-star reviews. So create a good experience, learn from any bad experiences. Like I say, respond to things very well. Boast about everything that you offer. That's the other thing you can do too that kind of goes along with reviews is Google gives you a platform in which you can put updates on there on your Google business profile. Boast about the services that you offer there in those updates. Tell what you offer. Give links to those services. If you have a website and your website has, like, for instance, you don't do just hair salon, you do nails, you do hair removal, you do makeup artistry for weddings and things like that. Link to those pages, mention those services, link to those pages. That helps. And it also shows what you do and that you're more well-rounded. Basically, this goes kind of in a vicious circle. The more reviews you get, the better you are, the better service you provide, the more reviews, the more customers you're going to get. It just makes a vicious circle and it brings in more foot traffic. That's kind of the SEO. I'd call it the snowball effect. You get SEO rolling and it just keeps rolling and rolling and getting bigger and bigger, and you can't stop it, which is good. You just want to keep it going.
That's exactly right. So the flywheel. So reviews can be that, and just one of the things, Chanda, that we hear a lot is like you want to respond. You said, I mean, obviously you want 100% response rate if you can get it, even if people just put
Definitely.
stars. But we've done the research on the team here, the Aura and Rosie marketing team, that if you respond to at least 90% of reviews, you're sending a positive signal both to AI and to Google. You mentioned it too. How can you amplify, like, through, how can you get more reviews through the software? So obviously with Aura, you can put that review link in and it'll fire off that message. We've got a platform in the marketing, the Rosie platform now, that has the ability when somebody has a hair service or some type of service, we can send them a message to with that review link to really drive those reviews. I just wanted to call out our platform because going back to that flywheel, so this is our platform that our clients that use the marketing services platform actually get access to this, where you can see, like, this is a perfect example of sentiment. We're learning from reviews, like what are things that are people calling out, in the reviews. So our tool actually will scan all your reviews, even if you have 7,000 of them. It'll scan through and tell you, okay, what are the positive sentiments, what are the negative sentiments. So like, there's two words here, like cut and update. I would want to learn a little bit more about that, and in our tool, you can dig in and do that. So you have that. And then, of course, you can, as Shannon mentioned, you can actually use our AI tool to help you respond to reviews. So it's got it built in the platform. So you can go in and just say, hey, use the AI generator to respond to reviews. And look, somebody asked me, I was at a conference probably 2 months ago, and someone said, would you close your eyes and allow your platform or your Or and Rosie marketing platform to respond to reviews and be confident with it? And I said, yes, 100%. I've seen this built. It learns about your business, really a powerful tool to help you manage reviews and drive reviews forward. And again, having a tool like this, and it doesn't have to be our tool, there's other tools out there, but having a tool like this lets you study your competition, because this is critical. Because if you, let's just say you're in a market, Atlanta, Georgia, in an area, let's just say in Buckhead, and you've got 7, 10, 12 other salons in there. They're all doing the same thing, right? So if you see your competitors responding to 95% of the reviews and you realize you're only responding to 80% of reviews, they're getting ahead of you. So having a visual into your competitors helps you stay competitive with these types of things in terms of rankings, numbers of reviews, and things like that. In our system, you can set up all the competitors you're interested in, and it'll tell you how they're doing real time. So really important for you to concentrate on that as you go forward. So those are just some of the things to think about. Shannon, we'll bring you back when we talk about listings here. But I want to pivot over to Jesse now and just talk about organic, because organic plays such a big part now too in our ability to drive growth through both AI and traditional Google. So Jesse, you've got an Orange Theory slide here. Talk us through this one. It's not salon related.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. So recently saw a presentation about all of this, that really consumer journey that people go through, and they use this gym as an example. So I think it's important to think about yourself as a consumer, not, a salon owner when you're thinking about it. Pretend you're a customer and you're trying to find a new gym or a salon. Like we talked about earlier, you're probably going to go on your phone, your computer, and just start that research process. You're trying to find that fitness studio, salon, probably closest to you, or where you're going to be. And like we were talking about earlier, if that business isn't listed correctly, or it's missing key info, the hours, services, everything like that, you've already lost that opportunity. If I find somewhere online that doesn't respond, there's really no image set. You can start scanning those and see what everybody feels when they visit your business. So like Shannon said earlier, it's really important to see that the business owner cares and really wants to reach out to people, even if the reviews aren't great or when they are great. So that's a huge second key sentiment. And then the last kind of 2 steps is, I'm probably going to go on your website. I'm going to see if you have a social media page, see if you're on Instagram, Facebook, and try to get that overall feel, just that foundation of who you are, what's important to you, really the whole brand of what you're doing online. So I think that's the biggest piece to understand of the journey.
Hey Jesse, I had a little bit of computer like glitch. It probably was on my side, but just in case if it was coming from your side, I just want to just recap just real quick. Local, how you're listed is if you didn't hear Jesse say, it's super important. That's the start. These are the buckets you want to be thinking about when people find you. They're going to look at your reviews, they're going to go look at your Instagram page or whatever, and then they're going to go to your website. So if there was a little bit of a lag, and again, it was probably on my end, but just wanted to recap that. So all right, so we know that organic social is one of those buckets, Jesse, and for us to consider. So we talk about it every day in our world as marketers, organic social. But if I don't really think about marketing a lot, what is organic social? Maybe that's the first question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So organic social is everything that you post on your business social media without paying to promote it. So it's not a Google ad, it's not a Facebook, Instagram ad. It's just organic posts that you're making that really kind of get through who your brand is, the personality, the voice of your brand. And just think about that day-to-day presence online, updates of the salon, behind the scene moments, customer shout outs. It's really what helps people get to know you without, a paid ad in their face.
That's great. So if I'm, posting a picture of my team member of the month or a blowout we just did at the salon, like that's the organic when you're just putting it on your Instagram page or creating an Instagram story or something like that, or even TikTok for that matter. So traditional, we hear the word, well, traditional organic, but we hear paid and boosted. Sometimes people get confused by like, what is a paid ad? So like the sponsored ad on Google Maps versus a boosted post. Can you just tell us the quick difference between those two?
Yeah, certainly. So a boosted post is essentially you're kind of looking through your organic content and maybe you just want to put a little bit of money behind that to get it seen by people in your area. So it's good when you have a small budget and you're just trying to reach some more people very quick, very fast. A paid ad has a lot more strategy behind it. This is what my team excels in. We're trying to hit the people who are searching, salon near me. Again, like I said, there's just a lot of strategy. We're bidding on certain keywords that people are using, whether they're talking to AI, talking to Google, and there's money, content, a lot of things behind the scenes that are really making sure that the audience that is seeing it are people who are likely to interact and end up booking a service with you.
Yeah, that's great. So, okay, so yeah, like when you talk about paid strategy, like finding a partner to help is really can be good. We have obviously got a lot of industry experience on our side, so we can help in this area. But if you're not comfortable with it, find a partner that can, find maybe a consultant that can help you, or a team like ours that really can dive in and help you compete in the paid world. So organic, we talked about AI and it being one of the things that is evaluated. So I mean, that's one reason it's important. Why else is organic social important?
Yeah, I think, like we touched on earlier, just that customer journey and, your website, your social pages, it's really all you have online. It's not like you can get on a video chat with everybody who comes to your website and kind of give them that feel of who you are and the services you provide. So being able to have content organically posted just really gets people to know who you are and build that trust of why they should do business with you.
That's great. So, how about some ideas, right? Like, so I mean, we're creative folks generally in the salon world. But we're using our creative juices on our clients all day long, and maybe we don't feel so creative on what we should be doing organic. Can you throw out a couple ideas of what we should be thinking about?
Yeah, I love this question. Like I just said, social media is kind of like your modern storefront. So consistency is key. You can start simple, a few posts a month at first, I think is great. Like you said earlier, Brian, highlight a happy customer, show off a good review, show off some pictures of, how somebody's hair turns out, maybe some products you have. But consistency is key. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to make a post every day. But if someone can log onto your page and see that you're consistently on there, maybe a few times a month, however much you can commit to, that's the big thing. So it's posting, what's true to you guys, and then also being able to respond to those reviews. And again, AI can help so much. I know it's hard to think of content. We sometimes lean on AI a ton, to really see what content and words we should be using to target people.
Yeah, and this is a great example. So like in our platform, you can actually have it write your post. And I know we have people that will spend an hour a month and just go ahead and set up their whole calendar with posts, and they can set it up to publish across Facebook and Instagram and whatever platforms in our system. So it's really saves you a ton of time, and it's a great use of AI. So the people on this call that on the original like poll that we asked, like this is an area where you can really use practical AI to save yourself time and solve some of these complex issues of making sure you get found by agents and get found in search. All right, so all good, Jesse. I'm going to pivot over here to listings as we head home. But let me say this: I would encourage anyone who wants to see kind of how your digital footprint stacks up. If you're ready for the into 2025 into 2026, get on Afton's calendar and let her do a little evaluation with you and look at these things with you and see maybe how your competitors are doing and that kind of thing, so you can get some ideas moving forward. All right, so we looked at kind of that Orange Theory example, and listings was one of those pieces, Chanda. So talk to us about what a local listing is and why it matters.
So the local listing matters a lot, especially you've got to consider you guys are local businesses. So yes, you want to be listed with your big ones. You want to be listed with Google. You want to be listed with Bing. You want to be listed with Yahoo. You want to be listed with Apple Maps. All the big ones that we all know about, right? But then there's a ton of other ones. I mean, thousands of other directories that you can list with. You want to do that because sometimes they'll be found in local search. That also will feed now your AI search more than ever. They've always been important, and they've been important to provide that backlink to your website and to your services. But now more than ever, AI is so quick. I mean, it can analyze everything on the web in just a matter of seconds. If you have got thousands of these listings across the board and they're all saying the same thing, they're saying that you provide the same services, you provide the same hours, you're at the same location, it puts that together really fast. And if your reviews across all of those platforms, because a lot of those platforms will allow you to review, if they're all consistent and they're all good, that boosts you up and that allows you to be shown over other people. I guess a good example was yesterday, for instance, for me. I got on real fast and said, you know what? I don't normally do my nails on a Sunday. I need a nail salon on Sunday that does nails, does gel nails, and then is open on Sundays between these hours. It gave me a list of AI results like this. It was crazy. I've never got a list of AI results like that. It gave me everything within about a 20-mile radius of where I was really, really fast. But it was accurate, and it pulled off all of that information between their Google business listing, their Bing listing, and their website. And I knew because some of the things I put in there were very specific, even more specific than most people had on Google. So they pulled all of that together really fast, and probably some other local listings they have as well. But as a local business, these listings are more important to you than they are like companies that go globally, because you're wanting to be found by your local customer. And that's what it's telling them is you are there, you're in this community, you're active, and you're providing a service there. So it helps you to be found. The AI, I know we keep going to that, but one reason why AI is so important, and I think Brian showed you a slide earlier, the AI results are the first thing it's showing you now. It gives you a list of AI results, then it gives you your map listings, then it gives you your organic listings. The AI kind of summarizes everything, but you've still got to have the organic. You've still got to have everything that Jesse was telling you about in the social media, because it uses all of that to put together those AI results. The more information you have there, the better. And she's right about posting. Post in social media, because what do you do if you want to go to a hair salon, to a nail salon, a restaurant? The first thing you do is you click either on their Google profile or you click on their website and you look and see, are they active on Facebook? Are they active on Instagram? And you go in there, because that tells you if that place is still in business, then they're inactive, and what kind of services they provide. You look for that. The other thing when you do these business listings, and it's real hard to do all of these yourself. I am not going to lie to you. There are tons of them. You can do the big 5 yourself, the big 10, whatever. You can do the first ones. They are not bad. But when you start trying to get to the second tier, the third tier, there's so many of them. It's a lot. You almost need somebody to do it for you, and can do it on a lot broader spectrum. But you want to make sure that all of that information is consistent. And what you'll find is it's a lot of information. And I know I've heard business owners, we just wanted to get them done. We just wanted the backlink. That's not true. Yes, you want the backlink, but you don't just want to get them done. You want to provide accurate and thorough information. And I know, like on Google and Bing, especially, there are so many things you can enter there. I mean, you're going to have a primary category, which for most of you is going to be beauty salon. But then there's all of these secondary categories. There's hair salon, there's nail salon, there's facial spa, hair removal, skincare clinic, eyelash service, wedding service, barber shop. You want to make sure that you list anything that applies to you, because it will pull from that. Make sure on all of these listings that your hours are consistent. If you have a certain time, 8 to 5, make sure that's on there. If you serve Saturday and Sundays, make sure that's on there. But it has to be consistent across the board in every listing. That's very, very important.
Hey, Jenna, last thing I want to call out, because you hit this and it gets a little technical, but it's real, just practical, is like you mentioned a backlink. And so I just want to call it like the Chamber of Commerce, because most of our salon owners are likely members of their local chamber and their community. And when you say backlink, that simply just means when the chamber says, Brian's Salon at 123 Main Street is a member of the chamber, it means just get my website link on there, right? That's what you mean. And that gives a link back to my website from the chamber. Can you just do a quick overview of that?
Yeah. So the chamber, honestly, you pointed that out, and that's one I forgot to mention. That is one of the strongest ones. It's very strong because it's a community, it's a government link back normally, and it's very strong. It's seen across the board from all search engines as being a very strong backlink. So basically, in the world of SEO, backlinks are very, very important. You want to get as many of those as you can to your website, but you want them to be relevant and you want them to be strong backlinks. These directories we're talking about, and like the chamber, those are very strong backlinks. I know people all the time, well, I can go buy backlinks. Yeah, you can buy them, but you got to be very, very careful where you get backlinks from. Backlinks, if they are the wrong backlinks, if they are weak backlinks, they're going to do the adverse. They're going to do the opposite of what you want to your website. So get the great kind, do well and invest in great SEO.
Yeah, and look, I mean, as Shannon just pointed out, like you could, I would say, low hanging fruit, go do your Google business profile listing today. Like do that today. But these tertiaries, tier two and tier three, you do need an automation partner. You need somebody. It doesn't have to be us. We do this, and our platform actually allows you to see where the discrepancies are in all your listings across the internet. But certainly now with the impact of AI, having these deep in the web, deep in the internet, set up properly is really, really, really critical. All right, I'm going to bring us home now. Thank you, Chanda. Thank you, Jesse. Great intel or great information, I think, for everybody on here. Really important. Just so the Aura and marketing team and Rosie marketing team, we've put together some packages. And if you're looking to make some decisions to make sure your digital footprint's right, and then make some investments in that, get on Afton's calendar. And again, you can get the link out of the chat. So you've got, we have different packages. She can make recommendations on what you might need based on where you are in your marketing journey. And you can also get a free AI visibility checklist. She can get that out to you and you can download that and actually see how you're doing. For our participants today in our webinar, I believe our promotion for the webinar is a waive setup fee. So if you book the link, I would do it now. It's for attendees of the webinar. So book time, and if you decide you want to do something, hey, save yourself $600. And so, Lori, I'm going to call you back in here and bring us home with any questions that might have come in the chat.
Yep. I think most recent what we were just on is the tier 2, tier 3. Can you explain why some of those are applicable and important for salon businesses to be on, like A Place for Mom, rent.com, and some of those tier 3 businesses that you had listed on there?
Yeah, sure. I think, Shannon, if you want to jump in. So that was just really a broad brush example. Not all of those would apply specifically to a salon. That's just that was a generic group of listings. But when we make decisions, right, there's certain things that you want to make sure you do, and there's others that just aren't relevant. So that's something our team can help with, understanding which ones make sense. Chan, is there anything you want to add to that?
Right. We submit to a very broad base because as a salon, I mean, you've got to think about it. Who is going and using your salon? It's your moms. It's your moms. You've got those. I mean, yeah, you've got the single people, you've got people that do not have children that do, but on a large spectrum, you have moms that want to feel better about themselves. So they're going to go to your salon. So you want to be in those types of directories. You want to be in your next door kind of directories. You want to be in just about every directory there are. You also want to be in things that apply to men, that things men are going to see, because men are your customers as well. In fact, ever growing. They come in not for hair. I know when I was getting my nails done, there were men in there getting pedicures. I mean, so you want to apply to everybody out there. I mean, children come in and get their hair done before school starts back. So you want to be in all the directories you can be, because sometimes you don't think about just all of the people that use your services, but it's very broad. So you want to be in all of those directories. And that's what we do. We reach out to all of them. We make sure you get in all of those.
Thank you. Another question was, is an AI chat box going to be available on the website? And we have that in these packages. So Brian, do you want to talk through that a little bit?
Yeah, so super important, right? Another use of AI, right? So all of our clients that use us for the web architecture and website design and that type of thing, we do have an AI chatbot that lives on that. Great way to guide people and talk to people. I think it's like 88% of people that will come to your website if you have a chatbot will interact with it. So it's big numbers, and it's a great way to free you up, so people, the chatbot can get them to the booking potentially without having to get a human involved. So it does certainly frees you up, and it gives the consumer what they need, which is just the ability to get what they're trying to accomplish done. So the AI chat, the tool that we've built, is really, really strong. And again, there's plenty of them out there. I would encourage anybody to be thinking about that today.
I put in the chat also Apotheca's website. That's one of our customers that recently we've done their website, and they have the chat box on there. So if you're interested in seeing what that looks like or interacting with that chat, that AI chat box, you can go ahead and click on that website and see what that looks like also. What is, can you talk, or Chanda, can you talk through AI visibility and how it's different than SEO specifically?
So it's different, but it's the same, if that makes any sense. It's becoming more and more the same. AI is really influencing the direction of SEO, but you've got to have SEO in order to show up in all of those AI results. So AI, basically artificial intelligence, it's going out there and it has access to so many things so fast. You want to make sure that you have all of your information everywhere you can have it, because the more places that it finds you, the more you're reinforcing to this bot, because it's not a human, it's a bot. You are reinforcing to this bot that you are real. You are real, you are offering a real service, and they are providing a service to a customer too. When somebody goes in there and asks them, hey, can you tell me the top 10 nail salons or hair salons in my area? That's their customer. That customer is likely to come back if it gives them the best answer it can. So it's going to search throughout the web, everywhere it can find your website, directories, posts, social media, everything it can find, so that it can put it together so that it serves its customers the best result. You want to be the best result. You want to be the authority in hair salons. And that's how you create it, is with SEO. But AI is what is serving up those SEO results now.
Thank you. And then the question is, does a photo in a review help with visibility?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you can get your people to leave photos in their reviews, it is amazing. And if you'll go and look, when you look up a place and they have reviews, like say 40 reviews, 100 reviews, when you open it up, the first thing it's going to show you is those reviews that have photos. Even if they're not the most recent, they can be 6 months old. It'll serve up those before it'll serve up the other ones, because it catches your attention and it's got a photo. You can ask your customers for that. If you will customize those messages that go out to them after services, if you'll customize those messages and say, hey, you know, if you'll leave the name of your stylist, if you'll leave a picture of your hair or your nails or your makeup, whatever it was that you had done, put a picture of that. That helps us show other customers the type of work we provide. They will. If you ask them to, they will.
Perfect, thank you. And I know this last one we touched on a little bit, it's when should you ask for reviews? And we did go through that a little bit, and when to ask for reviews. And I would just say, starting that process before that text message or email, whatever, that with your link goes out to that customer, start that conversation while that client is still in your salon and in your business. Make it part of your checkout process and let them know that, hey, I would love a review from you, and you're going to be getting a link. And you really kind of get that verbal, acknowledgement from them before they even leave. And then they feel a little less bad, or they would feel bad if they didn't after they said, oh, yeah, I'll leave your review, and then they never do. So they feel a little more obligated to actually follow through and leave that review if you get that commitment from them before they even leave their service. So start it while they're in the salon, before they even leave, and then let it follow up automatically with the text message that goes out.
Yeah, well said.
Okay, perfect. Well, that was all of the questions that I see. Anything else that you guys want to share before we wrap up?
No, super important to consider all the things we talked about today. As you start studying your digital footprint, AI does matter, and it is in search today. So you got to be thinking about it. So I'm glad we could bring this content to everyone.
Yeah, it'd be great for everybody to leave right now and open your ChatGPT on your phone or computer and search your own business and see what you come up with and see what happens and see what you find. And then you know exactly what you need to adjust from there.
Great.
Okay, well, thank you all. Thanks, everybody. All right, that was all we got. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.